What's going on, everybody? This video it can be treated, I guess, as a prelude to the upcoming, call it like 90-ish days. The main purpose of this video is programming and giving you guys transparency on what the programming is going to look like, the back end of it, which again, I think is far more beneficial than it is harmful for you guys to have this, knowledge and just kind of like a look into what I'm thinking and kind of how I see you guys progressing and how our programming is going to be periodized out throughout the summer and kind of leading into the fall. I will start and not waste a lot of your time with these upcoming dates to know this open forum. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope people take advantage of this. We're going to run our normal 7 a.m. class, but not as a class. So you don't necessarily need to sign up for this. I'm not overly concerned about it. If you do want to sign up, it is nice to always have a head count. But the goal is to just be open, meaning you guys can come in from 7 to 8. Again, not your normal structured class. You guys can kind of do whatever you want, but the goal ultimately is to give you an opportunity or an hour to work on maxes and just kind of ask any questions from a technical standpoint, or just figure out literally anything that you're unsure of or uncomfortable with in the fitness realm. So ideally 7 to 8, it's more like in studio type of questions. Whether it's weight training, a particular movement or regression or progression, or just, anything injury related. And then from 8 to 9, when there's normally a class going on, which Andrew will be leading, I will still be in studio to answer kind of like any pick the brain type of questions, anything you guys are struggling with. They can still be fitness related, of course, but more or less on the outside of the gym. So anything that you may be struggling with, any ideas or strategies, whether it's nutrition or sleep or just hydration, like you name it. If you have anything you want to ask, like I will be an open book, as I'm hoping most of you know at this point. I love these conversations. Like I've kind of dedicated my entire life to helping you guys out on this stuff. So again, this would be a great opportunity on the 13th if you have anything, just to come pick my brain and we can hopefully figure some stuff out for you guys. The 20th is me. She'll simply just be leading the warm up. Again, excellent opportunity probably to work on and get a more in-depth look at mobility. It depends on the day. I think it's going to be a back or a leg day. Still discussing with her, but regardless, still a nice little opportunity for you guys, hopefully maybe to pick her brain or just get a better opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into a warm-up. And then elements on the 27th, as we all know at this point, knock on wood, totally dependent on weather. Hopefully it holds up for us as it has not many of the last couple of months. Okay, into the meat and potatoes. So the upcoming program, and there is a second slide here. I want to go over that after this. But this is kind of what I'm talking about, giving you guys more of a foreshadowing as to what's coming so you can start planning. And I think there's more than enough people. Hopefully, if you're not one of these people, you turn into one of these people that can really start looking forward and putting energy and effort into scheduling type of what it is you want to be training for come these particular dates. So 6/11 is going to be the end of the pull-up mini cycle. Keep in mind, mini cycles are 8 workouts, not 8 weeks, just 8 consecutive workouts that we are purposely putting whatever it is working on, pull-ups obviously here, kind of on a pedestal, and you know that we're going to be hammering those for 8 consecutive workouts. We will then immediately go into a push press mini cycle, which is kind of my way into, and you're going to see this, and I'll try to explain it as we go. Give you a little bit of a heads up and 8 consecutive workouts to work on the push press. I know a lot of people, especially Urban Legend people or people that have ambition to finish Urban Legend, really want to work on the push press. And then just in general, it's a fantastic movement and we haven't done it in a while. So an opportunity for 8 consecutive workouts there in a mini cycle style to work on push press. And then this is the part I wanted to talk about. So the UL training and UL plus training is what you see. So obviously the UL event is in October. We already picked out the date, the 25th of October, which I'm pretty positive is in concrete, but you never know. So maybe 99% positive. The actual UL training, so similar to what we just did, 8 consecutive weeks of UL training will start on August 24th. And this is what I'm adding on. The UL plus training is kind of what I'm calling it. I don't have a great name. I haven't put a lot of thought into a name. But the UL plus training starting on July 27th is that it became very apparent to me that the UL training works. I think it did wonders for a lot of people. Even if you didn't plan on doing the UL or you didn't think you were going to finish it because you were so far away from finishing it, just the progress that people were making, let alone those who actually did finish it during those 8 weeks was incredible. I think a lot of people saw that, and I think a lot of people just based off of statements and conversation realize that if you're very precise with your training, you can see pretty monumental progress if you stay consistent and disciplined with it. So the UL training, I think, is here to stay. I will make particular tweaks to it that I think I could get better at, which is always the case, and I'm way too OCD to not make changes. But the UL Plus training is the big one. And whether anybody else noticed or not, and I've had this conversation with a few people, if you went into the UL training, but you weren't strong enough in a particular lift, whether it was the front squats, the chest press, or the push press, the UL training didn't offer you an opportunity to get physically stronger. It offered you an opportunity that you can get significantly more conditioned, and your muscular endurance and capacity levels and lactic threshold levels would rise significantly, which it clearly did for a lot of people. But it doesn't move you from like one weight class to the next weight class, because it's not programmed that way. And I don't think there's a way to change that specifically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add on an extra 4 weeks, make it a 12-week training program. And the UL Plus training is going to start on July 27th, and that is going to be more focused on the lifts. So you guys will almost get like a cycle, but for all the lifts. Now, it's not going to be exactly like a cycle. It's not going to be 12 weeks of progressive overload, but it's going to give you the extra handful of weeks to really work on the hypertrophy side. And rather than just doing like 200 calories biked and crushing the endurance side of it, and your ability to transition and move, we're really going to just focus on the lifts. And I know that's what a lot of people need, and I feel like we need to add this in as an option for people that think they need it. And then again, you don't have to do the plus. You could just start the UL training. So if you feel like you're already at your weights and your weights are pretty good, and you just need like the endurance, the muscular side, the mental side of it, right? The mental brass to get through this thing, then you can just jump in on August 24th and work your way towards, obviously, the event on October 25th. So hopefully that made sense. There'll be a little bit more clarity as we go. But that's the plan for that. And then, I ruined my screen. And then how this is going to work is the monthly emphasis. So June, July, August, the 90-day kind of outlook here is very much tied into, I don't want to say it's tied into the urban legend training, but I made sure that it flows with the urban legend training because so many people did it last time. I would imagine a lot of people will do it again. So 12 sets and go is June. This is going to be, it sounds different, but it's not. Like, this has always been my main thought process when Core 4 was built. My thought process in terms of writing workouts on a day-to-day basis is we were always going to do, the right amount of sets in order to focus on hypertrophy and strength training, building lean muscle tissue. And then we're going to condition yourself with that muscle. So 12 sets and go is our traditional structure. And the goal is that you guys will know, not every day, as always, monthly emphasis or just the lean, is that we're going to, this month in June, really focus on making sure we get the appropriate amount of sets, reps, and volume, gross tonnage move to build lean muscle tissue. And then we're going to condition you after that. So again, traditional setting, we've done it hundreds and hundreds of times over the years. We're just really going to lean into it in June. We're then going to go into leg strength, and then in August followed by leg capacity endurance. So we're going to focus on leg strength. Long story short, I'm going to up the frequency of the amount of leg days that you guys have in June. I don't know exactly. In July. I haven't fully decided, but probably twice a week. Some weeks it might fall 3 times depending on how it goes. I don't love the idea of 3 a week, but I do think if we want to really lean into this, I need to give you guys the frequency and the volume to have the opportunity to actually do that. So I think this is a big one for a lot of people. As we all know at this point, hopefully leg strength is incredibly paramount to longevity and just your physical well-being as you age. There's not many things, if nothing, more important than this. So I want people to really look forward to this in July, and we'll do a lot of the primary lifts just more frequently. Hopefully by the end of July, not only do you feel stronger and more comfortable in your motor pattern and movements, but you've gained a lot of data and knowledge on all of these big lifts. And then we'll go into August. We'll take all that knowledge and that data that we learned, all the motor pattern stuff that we've hopefully got more comfortable with neuromuscular wise, and we'll go into capacity endurance. And we'll take those weights and we'll work on dragging them out, bigger sets, shorter recoveries, quicker transitions, and we'll try to work on kind of that lactic threshold, time, anytime you guys are under a time crunch type of settings, and really work on capacity and the endurance. But all in all, that's what it's going to look like. I know it's a lot to swallow, but you guys have a bunch of dates here. Obviously the June dates and then the programming dates. You can just take a picture of this. And like I said, as we get deeper into the summer, there'll be more and more clarity that comes on these periodization or these programming structures.